What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here with the instant reaction to Tottenham Hotspur's 1-0 defeat in AC Milan in the Champions League last 16. We have just done the live watch along, myself and Nick. Nick, what's your overall thoughts?
Well, look, we were all worried about, Benson Core not being there, Højbjerg being suspended. I would say that Skip and Sarr, we got it there. Skip and Sarr, not Scar and Skip. Skip and Sarr, probably one of our best performances in midfield, certainly in Europe away from home this season. So look, both of those two young lads have really stepped up tonight. That for me has been a highlight. Obviously, Emerson Royale. Again, has kind of grown in confidence, grown in his team performance. Those three players for me stood out in a positive point of view. Forster didn't really have anything to do. He obviously made that double save at the start. Unfortunately, obviously Diaz then scored on the third attempt. Let's just say, but yeah, I mean, look, it's halfway through the tie, right? We're still in the tie. I firmly believe that if we can create, some gilt-edged chances back at White Hart Lane, that we can go through.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with for myself with Sip and Scar. They were fantastic for us. A lot of pressure coming into them in the game, in the build-up to the game. Everyone was concerned, obviously, not having a recognised, experienced midfielder in there. But I think together they did a fantastic effort. Were brilliant. I think Sarr, for me, edged it over Skip. I think he was everywhere. I think he will gain so much confidence from this. So it's a great performance by them. And then I think what we need to talk about is the people that are poor today. And I think the biggest two was Romero and Kulusevski. For me, in all honesty, it's Kulusevski after Leicester wasn't brilliant. Son wasn't great as well. A few of them were great, but I think Kulusevski and Romero down that right-hand side, especially in the first half, were second to everything, weren't they? And like you said, Romero was caught out for the start of that goal. Obviously, there was a lot more to be done after Romero had not won the challenge, but a bit concerning from them too. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, look, I think, obviously Romero's been hit and miss. Obviously, he's been in and out of the side through suspension and obviously injury and everything else. Obviously, Kulu doesn't seem like he's the same since he's come back from his injury. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's opportunities again. They're not taking the opportunities. And at what point do we sit there and say, look, Son, Kulusevski, you're not starting the next game? Do you know what I mean? At what point do we keep playing these players thinking that they're going to come into form, thinking they're going to hit their stride? Son obviously has had probably more of a free rein and rightly so. Look, is like with things that are happening at other clubs, he's got a lot of credit in the bank. But yeah, there's nothing more than we both want Son, Kulu, and Kane firing. But it's just for whatever reason, it's just not happening at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I said this after the Leicester performance last week, that how many times, and I said this with Dyer and Son. How many times do you keep putting in bad performances and just starting with no accountability? And what kind of message does it send out to the other players? Like, these players can just carry on playing crap and I won't get a look in. And we look at it, the next game is West Ham at home, which is a huge game. Forget about league position and everything, just obviously because of the rivalry. And would I want to see Richarlison and Danjuma maybe given a go? Maybe. Yeah,
I don't think so. But look, I think the Milan players, they're lapping up the applause and adulation. It's like they've won the Champions League tonight. What? Because they've won 1-0 against Tottenham.
Well, like you said, I mean, what you've got to remember as well is all those stats that you said at the beginning, how they haven't won X amount in against teams in the Premier League. This is their first time in the quarterfinal or the knockout stages in how many years? I think you said 13 or something like that. So all those results you were saying to show that they were on a bad run and everything, this is big for them. They've got a result that they haven't been able to get in the Champions League for a longer period of time. So it's something for them to cling on to. And obviously it's with their home fans, so they're gonna milk it for all it is. But we've obviously got the return leg in a couple of weeks, and there's enough in there to say Tottenham certainly aren't out of it. Højbjerg's back from it. The only thing we've got is every cloud has a silver lining or not. Eric Dyer will be suspended like Højbjerg was for this one.
What a shame. Are we going to go into meltdown because Eric Dyer's not going to be playing?
Who knows? But do you know what? You go into this game and Højbjerg's back, and then obviously, I think if we see a Højbjerg, I think Sarr will get the nod over Skip for the return leg. People aren't going to be as worried about the midfield. That's for damn sure.
No, absolutely not. And look, the stats for the game. Tottenham had 53% possession, 3 more shots than AC Milan, 1 less on target. They had 3 versus 4. We had 8 corners and only gave away 13 fouls. So look, if you're looking purely on stats, we really gave a good account of ourselves. And look, I think we go on this roller coaster, right? We beat Man City, we lose at Leicester. Why are we sitting there saying are we happy with a 1-0? I mean, I thought we could have nicked something. We didn't get the chance. We didn't get that one clear-cut chance that Kane needed to potentially get that goal. But look, the game's not done. Could it have been done? Absolutely. AC Milan probably should have been. The 2-headed chances near the end of the game. They should have. This tie should be over, and that's what we need to think. Take the positives. Look at what's happened tonight. We've gone in with an inexperienced midfield. We've gone away from home. We've gone to AC Milan, and we're coming back with a 1-0 loss. So we've got 1 goal to overturn. We know if we score, it's going to go to extra time. It's going to go to penalties. It doesn't change anything that we need to do in the second leg. We have to score. So it's not like we have to score 3, we have to score 4, we have to do what we need to do. Even if they score, AC Milan take an early lead, right? We still needed 2 goals to win the tie. So it doesn't actually change anything.
This is the thing I need to add with this as well, because obviously people were saying about this 1-0 being happy, like you've seen it in the chat, the comments, people saying why are people so happy or with the defeat. Away goals don't count anymore. If away goals had counted, I'd have been a hell of a lot more disappointed than I am right now. Like you just said, Milan can score a goal and it don't count for double. We still need 2 to go through. We still need... So for me, that's a thing to take away from it. We've lost 1-0. The away goals don't count anymore, so that's not as big a deal in Europe as it used to be. And there is a lot to play for. We've got a super chat coming from Hotspur saying Sar and Skip. I almost said Sip and Scar. What outstanding. Which one starts for the Premier League? For me, Hotspur, I think it has to be Pape Matar. I think this kid is coming on in leaps and bounds, and I think he has got the highest ceiling, and probably for a game like West Ham is better suited for it. What do you reckon, Nick?
Yeah, look, I think what's important is that, a few weeks ago, we thought that we said the midfielders Højbjerg and Bentancur, the kind of times that we've had glimpses of Bissouma, glimpses of Skip, glimpses of Sarr. Has it been great? No, but it hasn't been that bad either. And also, like you said, you've got Alfie Devine. Look, it's opportunity, and I said this a couple of weeks ago. The players now have opportunities to take their opportunities when they get them.
Yep.
Emerson is obviously, for whatever reason, whether it's he's in there, he's worried about Porro. The last 4 games now, he's been one of the best players on the pitch for Spurs. And has it taken that because he's realised that Doherty's not that good, Spence was never going to play, and he thought, well, I'm going to play anyway, so I don't need to up my game. He's upped his game. Sarr and Skip tonight have come in, they've upped their game because one of them is going to be fighting for that starting berth at the weekend. Sarr, I think, is like you said, has gone ahead. Look, you don't know what's, obviously we didn't see enough of Danjuma, we didn't see enough of Richarlison in terms of when they came on. Obviously, the question mark, like we say, who's going to... So, I mean, the ultimate question mark now would be, will Longley be the one that starts in the central role in defence for the second leg?
That's what we've got to look at now, isn't it? That's where we're going to have to see, because you look at it... I think we saw today, like you said, with that goal that Milan scored, you could see why we haven't put Romero in the centre, because of his aerial threat or lack of aerial threat and dominance. So you've got to look at it and think it may be Longley and Davies. I think that's the way you look at it, because I can't see Tanganga coming in and playing in the centre. I can't see Tanganga playing on the right and moving Romero into the centre. And I certainly can't see you got Davinson Sanchez, but I can't see him starting in the centre. I think it will be a Longley, Davies and Romero is what I think. What about yourself?
Well, I think there's no other options. Well, there is options, but Sanchez and Tanganga don't exactly fill me with any confidence. But look, I guess there's still a few question marks. Obviously, is around that left-hand side. What do we do in terms of Perisic? Because again, he wasn't great again. So there's still that question mark on that left-hand side, and how do we answer that problem? Obviously, we've still got question marks around Son and Kulu. And obviously, I think, look, Kane, you can sit there and say Kane didn't do anything today, but I think he did more than what people realise. He was really man-marked out of the game. And, in a different game, the players are getting yellow cards and then they're stepping away and then they're giving him that space. So, look, I think that'll be looked at in terms of for the second leg, depending on which country the referee's from. So there's that option. But, yeah, we've got... Look, there's in that midfield, we've got 3 now that we can rotate. I'd like to see... I would like to see a bit more of Danjuma, because obviously we've brought him in till the summer. Yep. So if, like you were saying about why are we bringing them in if we're not going to give them opportunities, let's give them opportunities. I think you'll see obviously in a couple of weeks, we've got a Sheffield United game that you'll probably see, potentially see Forster having a rest, who knows. But you've got Devine, you've got Danjuma, you've got Richarlison. Maybe that's the time when, Kane, Kulu's son, maybe get a bit of a rest, let's just say. But look, we've got more options than we had, sort of 3 or 4 weeks ago. I know we're ravaged by injuries. I know that it doesn't all seem great at the moment, but we're still in the Champions League. We're still in the FA Cup, and we're not that far off the top 4. So considering we've had all of these things that have happened, I still think we've got a lot of things to be positive about. I
will say, agree with everything you pretty much said, apart from where you said we've got all these options.
Yeah,
we've got to get to these fixtures with our medical team. I have absolutely no faith whatsoever in our medical team. We've seen what's happened in 1 week. That's where I have a big problem at the moment. We need to wrap everyone in cotton wool and just hope nothing happens to them. And this is again why I'm saying with why we've got these options. We have to use these people, not overplay them, because they're going to pick up injuries. Game management and looking after them and checking their recovery and everything is vital to us right now. We cannot afford any more injuries. So I think that is a huge part in it as well. But we're going to have to wait and see.
But yeah, look, but Brian, you're right. But look at what's happened, right? And from one game, we've gone from having everyone fit to having everyone injured. We're not the only ones. What I think is that we don't know how this World Cup is going to play out as we get in sort of 10 games to go, 5 games to go, and how much of an effect that's going to have. So yeah, look, I just think, look, I think we've got enough to beat AC Milan in the second leg. I think White Hart Lane is going to be absolutely rocking. Champions League, round of 16, under the lights. I'm just getting goosebumps talking about it.
The one thing I will add to this as well, which I think we can take as a positive, is people were saying right now that they think that Højbjerg is going to have to play every single minute of every single match going forward because of his experience. I think tonight showed, obviously we want Højbjerg in, and Højbjerg is vital for what he brings on the pitch with his experience and his aggression and everything. But I think we've seen that those two can handle themselves with the responsibility. If you can do it away at the San Siro, you can do it in the Premier League. So I think that's a huge silver lining out of tonight's performance.
Yeah, absolutely, Brian, absolutely. And look, we're going to hear what you've got to say. We will be doing the post-match fans show shortly, or within the next hour. So if you are a member, then please go to the community section. The link will be up soon. Brian, it's not been a Valentine's Day massacre. It's not really been a love affair, but we have certainly not come out of this in a...
It's been an adequate Valentine's.
It's been an adequate Valentine's for Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
It wasn't the massacre that everyone predicted. And we go again in, I guess, 3 weeks time on a Wednesday night in March.
I'm not going to start singing that song right now.
Yeah, don't say it. So anyway, Thank you to everyone that's joined us. Thank you to everyone that's liked the stream. Thank you to those that have gone over to mine and Brian's channels and also liked and subscribed there. We'll see you all again for the post-match fan show. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on.